Snow leopard lives, kids! Greetings, and welcome to the next video for May. Yes, May is actually going to have 2 videos this month. Well, this year, rather. The reason I decided to do this is because, well, quite frankly, simply put, May is actually my favorite month. And as you might have seen in the little intro clip, I was showing the recently worked on MacBook with Snow Leopard, and yes, I am actually working on a video on why Snow Leopard is still awesome in the modern day, and how you can still use a Snow Leopard machine in the modern day, even though Apple and pretty much everyone else have long since abandoned the operating system. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we have yet another computer video. Yeah, who didn't see that coming? So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a video about the Dell Latitude XPI again. Not exactly. This is not just a Dell Latitude XPI. This is a Dell Latitude XPI CD that I acquired recently. Now, you might be asking yourself, Ben, you're totally broke. How did you afford this? Well, I didn't. This was found at the recycling center in Neptune Township, here in New Jersey. And basically, the only thing wrong with this laptop was that it had a loose LCD cable, and all I had to do to fix this laptop was just simply reseat the LCD cable and got the display working again. Of course, I did that all off camera. I don't know, I probably should have done it on camera. It probably would have made for, I don't know how interesting of a video it would have made for, but I've just noticed very sporadic results with my videos lately. Like, they don't really get a lot of views. I don't really care because it's like, okay, well, you know, it's like, remember what I do YouTube for, kids. I do it for fun. I don't do it for monetary gain, even though I'm totally broke. That is actually true. I actually do not have a lot of money, but for those who are wondering. But anyways, yeah, I do YouTube for fun, and you know, so if you want to support my work, feel free to. But you know, I don't expect people to flood in to watch my videos. Anyways, getting on with the computer video. So what do we have here? We have a Dell Latitude XPI CD. Let me see if I can find the model number here. I got it upside down here. This is the PPS. Well, that's what it says there. Just take a look at the information sticker there, and you can see the PPS Dell. Oh, sorry, M33ST. That's the model number. This is a Latitude XPI CD M133ST. That is the model number of this laptop. And if you want to look up, it's probably too faded for the camera to pick up, but basically, I'll try to get it in the camera. There we go. There's the service tag if any of you guys want to look that up. I doubt it'll return any information, but you're free to waste your time as you please. Let's go ahead and take a tour of this thing. So on the front, we got an infrared receiver here. Got the CD-ROM and floppy drive. Now, if either of these fails, I'm not sure how Dell would replace these, because, yeah, I tested the CD-ROM drive and it does work, but the floppy drive I haven't, actually, yes, the floppy drive does work. What am I saying? Duh. Battery here, apparently, yeah, I mean, I haven't had my coffee yet, can you tell? It's Sunday morning. It's a lazy Sunday. Anyways, parallel here, RS-232 serial. I got the PS2 port here, VGA, 15-pin VGA with the screws, of course. That's the way, I like it. Docking station connector, Dell PA1 connector here. If you do come across one of these, make sure you get one with a power adapter, because these PA1 adapters are pretty damn hard to find. Power button here, 2 PC card slots here supporting card bus. Hard drive goes here, which I just stole the hard drive out of the other Dell Latitude XPI. And this one, unlike the other Dell Latitude XPI, the P90S, or P90D rather, has built-in audio. So you got headphone in, line in, and microphone in on the XPI CD. Now, I haven't fully set this up yet, and this is going to be sort of like an introductory video to this computer, but I will be doing more videos with this computer because this is going to be like my vintage DOS gaming machine, because I always wanted to get more into DOS gaming, and of course, because I'm a retro gamer myself. And the thing is, I just wasn't, I was born at the time when DOS was being phased out. Windows 95 was the current OS around the time I was born, and I just wish I had been born earlier, like all my lucky cousins were. Sorry if you're watching. But anyways, because they were all born in the 80s and some in the 70s, and, they all remember DOS and, the NES and all that, and I'm like, hey, does anyone remember the Wii? Remember Wii? Boy. Anyways, getting back to the computer. So what's interesting about the Dell Latitude XPI CD is it was the last Dell Latitude laptop to feature a trackball instead of a trackpad. And I actually prefer the trackball over the trackpad, quite frankly. It's just personal preference. I like the trackball better. You have your QWERTY keyboard here, which is very comfortable to type on. Pentium, let me just move the camera in a little bit so you guys can see. Got your Pentium MMX processor sticker there, designed for Windows 95. It's pretty faded, but let me see if I can zoom the camera in a little bit on that. There we go. Pentium MMX, designed for Windows 95. Got the indicator lights up there for battery, low battery, PC card, hard drive activity, floppy activity, and I believe that other one is power. Yes, it is. Sorry. There's your 12.1-inch TFT display with a resolution of 800 by 600 pixels. And yeah, and that's pretty much, it's an active matrix, unlike the P90D, which has a passive matrix display, a major upgrade, if you ask me, from that crappy passive matrix display on the P90D. But enough chit-chat. Let's go ahead and power this thing up. And you'll see one of the reasons, one thing that I did that is going to land me in the sin bin. Let me just close the blinds here to take some of the light off just so the glare isn't as bad. Apparently, I can't even use the proper terminology today. Ugh. But here we go. We're going to power this thing up if I can hit the power button correctly. There we go. And interestingly enough, on these older Dells, most Dells you hit F2 for setup, but on these older Dells you press function F1 for setup, which is a little bit interesting. I never actually realized that until I got this computer. So, now I still got a little too much glare. Let me go ahead and close the other set of blinds just a little bit. Because I know I've been getting some comments about people saying they can't see anything, so I'm trying to fix that. Trying to fix this, buddy boy. Okay. So, date and time are actually right on this thing. And yes, amazingly, this laptop does have a working battery. So, and I have a spare battery for this that works as well. So when this one goes kaflooey, I have a different one. So I put in an 810 megabyte hard disk. Let me, I don't know if let me zoom that in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. You got your 3.5-inch floppy drive, 133 megahertz Pentium MMX, speaker volume is set to high, the keyboard click is disabled, but I leave it disabled because it's annoying. Actually, you know what? No. You know what? For the sake of this video, we're going to enable that. Now you have DOS nostalgia all day! Woo! Anyways, you got your serial port set to COM1, infrared set to COM3, front, there's also a rear infrared port as well. Parallel mode I have set to normal, integrated trackball is enabled, nothing in the PC card slots, monitor toggle, which is for the toggle key on the keyboard if you ever wanted to switch to an external monitor. You can press Alt-P to go to the second page. This is mostly just power management. Really nothing else here. This has got 40 megabytes of RAM. Let me hit Alt-P again. Does it even say that it has 40 megabytes of RAM? No, it doesn't. Well, I'm an idiot. Right here. Pentium 133 megahertz MMX, 40 megs of RAM. It's got 1.1 megs of video RAM, 256K of cache, no expansion devices installed. There's the service tag again. If you want to look that up and waste your time, go for it. But yeah, that's pretty much that. So I'm going to hit Control-Delete and prepare to vomit, people, because there's going to be an operating system that you're not going to like. Well, most of you are going to like this, but I certainly don't. Because I remember ranting about this in my Windows 95 floppy frustration video, link in the cards, but... Windows 98. I really wanted to put Windows 95 on here. Like, seriously, I really wanted to put Windows 95 on here. But for whatever reason, it would not install. Like, I had a hell of a time just getting the files to copy to the hard drive. And it was not the CD-ROM drive, because the Windows 98 CD, and nor was it my Windows 95 CD, because the Windows 95 CD worked perfectly fine on the Dell Latitude XPI P90D, but on this laptop, it refused to work with both an external drive or the internal drive, just refused to copy files to the hard drive. Hard drive's fine because Windows 98 files copied successfully. So, yeah, I don't know what happened, but I had to go with Windows 98. Blech. But I'll be quiet now, because kind of quiet, but you probably could hear the Windows 98 startup sound there that plays whenever you start this atrocious abomination of an operating system. Yes, I know I get a lot of hate, and people ask me in the comments all the time, Ben, why do you hate Windows 98? And I'll tell you why after the intro video plays. Anyways, what I was going to say is, in all seriousness, here's the reason why I cannot stand Windows 98, if you're curious. The reason I cannot stand Windows 98 is because if there's one error message that defines the operating system, at least from my youth, it would be, this program has performed an illegal operation and will now be shut down. Yep, the general protection fault message. Yep. If I could not count on my own two hands how many times I saw that error in Windows 98 as a kid on our elementary school computers, which were Dell Dimension XPS T450 machines, kind of like the one I have and still have to this day. But yeah, they all ran Windows 98 Second Edition, the operating system you're looking at right there. And guess what? Every frickin' program would crash. It was nothing but frickin' errors. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, that was literally the problem I had with Windows 98. When I installed it on here, I had this problem where the audio wasn't working, so I had to reinstall the driver from, the Windows 98 setup files on the hard drive. But, it's like, I have had, literally, I don't know if Windows 98 just Windows 90 hates me, but I hate you too, Windows 98. Don't think you're getting out of this alive! Yeah, I actually, if you ask me what my favorite version of Windows 9X is, you're going to want to punch me, but it's Windows Millennium Edition. I like Windows Millennium Edition a lot better. I think it's a lot more stable. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying that, and I will say there are some systems that Windows Me does not play nice with. I'll admit it, there are systems that Windows Me just does not like. But in this case, Windows 98 has been the bugaboo for me. 95 was okay. 98 First Edition was the worst edition. 98 Second Edition was marginally better than Windows 98 First Edition, but not by much. So unfortunately, the Windows 9X version that takes the cake in terms of worst Windows 9X version, for me at least, is Windows 98. And that's why you really don't see Windows 98 a lot in my videos. But you know what? I had to make an exception here. Alright. Now, I don't really have much hooked up to this computer. I don't really have much installed, but we're going to change that. Because I don't really have any games installed on here. Really, the only thing I installed was Microsoft Office 97. And look who appeared in the corner there, guys! Just try not to get in the way of the camera here. Yep. It looks like you're making a video for your fans. Would you like some help? No! Yeah, this is pretty much what I would do on the school computers. I'll tell you one funny thing that we used to do back in grade school, back when we had Word Office 2000, was we would always play with the Office Assistant. But yeah, my favorite was Albert Einstein, who sadly is not in Word Office 97. Instead, it's Will Shakespeare. But, yeah, I have IE5. Really haven't done much in terms of updates on this thing. But here's what we're going to do. Everyone's seen Windows 98, right? I mean, because that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to show the size of the hard drive. We're going to do something here. And this is going to be a really cheesy experiment. But we're going to do it anyways. We're going to, first of all, I want to show the hard drive. We have 309 megs free on this hard drive, okay? So keep that in mind, 309 megs free. What we're going to do, I know I said this is mostly going to be a DOS gaming machine, but you know what? We need to run some Windows games on here too. So, I have a game that I played a lot as a kid, and we're going to install it, or at least attempt to install it, on this computer. Now, this game should technically run on here, but there it is, kids. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Here we go! Now watch, now we're probably going to get some error about not meeting the system requirements, but we're going to find out. I don't even know if this computer hasn't, I don't even remember what the system requirements are for Roller Coaster Tycoon. I know they're not very high. I just don't remember. I just don't remember, my friendliest of all friends. You know what? Let's view the let's actually view the manual. You know what? Oh. Because we don't have Acrobat Reader. Whoops. Well, I guess we can't view the system requirements because we don't have Acrobat Reader, kids. Woo! That's a problem. That's actually a real problem. Because I guess we're just going to have to wing it. I guess we're literally just going to have to wing it. But hey, at least I can test the CD-ROM drive a little bit better now. Because when I did this on my HP, it said it couldn't read the disk. To be exact, it was my HP Pavilion DV6000. It said it couldn't read the disk. I like this. Are you sure you accept the terms and conditions? Because guess what, kids? You know what this means? We're gonna kill your entire family if you install this program. Yep. Okay. Space required on C. So the 15. So that's 15 mega. It's about 100. Yeah. Space available on C. So it's got 30 megabytes. It only requires 15 megabytes. Okay. Well, you know what? Screw it. Screw it, we're installing Roller Coaster Tycoon on here. Now, one thing I am going to show is I'm going to show how you can run Roller Coaster Tycoon without needing the CD and the drive. Because even though this laptop does have an internal optical drive, I'm going to show a trick that allows you to run Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. This only works for Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. Any other version of Roller Coaster Tycoon, like if you have 2 or if you have 3, you have to have a no CD crack to do this. But with Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, there's a very interesting trick you can do to allow the game to run without the CD-ROM, without needing a no CD patch. Because, believe me, trying to get a no CD crack installed on an old system like this can be somewhat frustrating. So, my cat is apparently going nuts in the back there playing with her toys. Yeah, Lila always knows when I'm making a video, so she knows when to play with her toys. But anyways. Now, here's one thing I will explain about Roller Coaster. I'll tell you about Roller Coaster Tycoon. I always like to play Roller Coaster Tycoon the way it was intended to be played. In other words, I like to play it the way... Because, you know, the way that Chris Sawyer intended for people to play the game. I know I got a lot of hate back in grade school, and even in high school. Well, maybe not so much in high school, but in grade school for sure. I got a lot of hate because the kids were like, "What? You play Roller Coaster Tycoon the way it's supposed to be played? What are you, a douche or something?" Yeah, because the other kids like to say, "Oh, how many people did you kill in the game? Oh, how many suicide coasters did you make? Oh, how many guests did you drown today?" I mean, occasionally I would drown a guest here or there, or, crash a coaster or something like that. But honestly, I never liked to make death or suicide parks in Roller Coaster Tycoon. I always liked to play the game the way it was the way Chris Sawyer intended for his game to be played, i.e., build a park and achieve an objective. That's all I ever wanted to do in Roller Coaster Tycoon, was make the best park in the world and have infinite guests. And at the time, I didn't know that Mega Park existed, but yes, that's what I wanted to do in Roller Coaster Tycoon. I'm not even kidding. I always wanted to play the game. It was the way Chris Sawyer intended for people to play the game. I never wanted to play the game to kill people or any of that crap. Nope, did not ever want to do that. So, so kudos to anyone. But let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you were also the same way. If you like to play Roller Coaster Tycoon the way it was intended to be played, because I certainly did. I think my favorite, and the one thing that's kind of pathetic, and I'm man enough to confess this, and this is the same for Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. As a kid, I actually didn't know that there were scenarios in the game. Yes, I said that. Now, what do you mean, Ben? What do you mean? You didn't know about Forest Frontiers, Dynamite Dunes, Leafy Lake, and so on and so forth? Well, here's what happened, okay? I would always go to the tutorial because I thought it was the, air quotes, sandbox mode for the game, right? Well, guess what? I was wrong. I never wanted to click on the button to go to the scenario because it would say start a new game. And my dad once said starting a new game because my dad's not the most computer literate person in the world. He said if you start a new game, it's going to erase all your parks. And because he was so used to, like, back in the day when maybe that would happen and stuff like that. But long story short, that's not what it does. It literally just lets you select a different scenario. And I think we're running into some problems reading the CD. What the frick? Seriously, man. Because the CD is just spinning up and spinning down. And I can hear it having trouble. Seriously? Okay, then riddle me this. If it can't read this disk, then why could it read my Windows disk and copy the files from my Windows disk? Riddle me that. Oh. Turn the caps lock off. I forgot to do that. And it read my Office 97 disk no problem too. So I don't know what in blue blazes is wrong with this optical drive, but this is not looking good. It's doing the exact same thing that it was doing with the Windows 95 installation disk. So maybe this optical drive just can't read dirty disks, but the disk isn't that dirty, so I don't know what's going on here. Because I know these disks work perfectly fine. So unless this drive is just that screwed up, I don't know. All I know is it's having problems reading the disk because there's no there's no hard drive activity. Mother of the Irish. And yes, there is actually Irish blood in my family, for those wondering. I tell you, people, every time in a Ben Climber, I'm becoming Michael MJD here. I'm literally becoming Michael MJD. It's like everything went wrong installing freaking Roller Coaster Tycoon, a game that you'd think would install without a hitch, but no. Really? Yeah, it is not able to read the disk. It is not reading the disk. What in the world? Well, frick. Should I just abort the installation at this point because it can't read the disk? Or should I go get my external drive? Or should I download the GOG version? Well, I don't even know if that runs on this, but yeah, I don't even know if the GOG version would run on here. It does run on my old XP machine, but yeah. Yeah, it's not reading the disk. So, what in the frick? Got this far, and now it can't read the disk. Yep, and it cannot read the disk. Well, frick. Disk read error. Well, that's just wonderful. Yeah, can't even install Roller Coaster Tycoon because it's unable to read the disk. Gee Louise. Alright, let me go clean the disk and I'll try it again. Yeah, the classic disk may be dirty. Don't you love it when you get disk read errors? Oh yeah, and this too. I remember seeing this as a kid too. I'm just going to pause the video here. Alright, attempt number 2 at this. I literally went ahead and cleaned the disk. Nope, same problem. It's unable to read the disk at the exact same location. Like, I don't understand, man. I just don't understand. Like, it's unable to read the disk at the exact same location. Like, I don't know if this is something wrong with the disk, because I know this disk works. So it must be something wrong with the drive, where the drive is just unable to read this disk for whatever reason. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And my external drive doesn't work either, so... Or does it? Well, yep, it failed. It can't read the disk. What the heck? Alright, well, I guess I'm going to have to whip out the external drive. Only problem is I don't think the PCMCIA card is going to work, but... Same problem. Time to get the external drive. Alright kids, let's see how hard it's going to be to install new hardware on Windows. Micro Solutions Backpack PC card. Yeah, it's not going to have the drivers, and this is going to be a real problem. Because I don't even know if I have a driver, because I have a driver disc for this, but it's on a CD. And, well, actually, you know what? You know what? I may have an idea here. This is where a partially broken CD-ROM drive may actually come in handy. So let me see if I can actually copy the files from... Because it's going to need a driver at this point. We know that. So let's say next. I don't have a floppy disk. That's not the right location. And it could not find a driver, of course. Alright. Let's do this. Can we browse this CD? Because the CD-ROM should contain the proper driver. So theoretically, I should be able to browse to the D drive and pull the driver that way. Display a list. Actually, no. Specific location. Not A. D colon backwhack. We want the D drive, not that. The D drive. Okay. So we want backpack drivers. Let's look in the drive. You'd think it'd be in drivers. Holy shit, it found it. Okay. I swear if this doesn't work, so help me God. So help me God! You know what I'm almost expecting? Let's plug it in. It's going to say, hey, I see you plugged in a new device, and it's going to load in the appropriate drivers. You'll notice that this scanner bill, whoa! Moving right along. That must be why we're not shipping Windows 98 yet. Alright. Holy crap, it actually worked. I don't believe it. Alright. I actually don't believe that. That was actually a very straightforward PC card installation. And apparently it was able to read the disk for long enough to be able to copy the frickin' drivers. Anyways. Now the only problem is... Yeah, so the only problem I've had with this... Just pull the CD out. Won't be needing this anymore. The only problem I've had with this is literally now it's probably not, now we're probably gonna have it's gonna have a problem with the DOS drivers, right? It's gonna have a problem loading the drivers with DOS or putting MS-DOS drivers, right? Because don't you have to do something with autoexec.bat? See, this is the problem. This is why I don't play around with Windows 95 and 98 that much, because it's simply all about, yeah, see, it's not even recognizing the other drive. Piss. So I suppose I could restart in DOS mode. Why? Why? Alright. I'm literally trying to do a minimal install of this. Okay, wants to restart the computer. That's fine. Let's do it. Oh shit. No, I wanted to get rid of that. Fudge sickles. Alright, well, whatever. Alright. Computer is restarting for like the 50 billionth time. This is literally like, I feel like Crazy Ken, except instead of installing Windows or Mac OS frustration, this is like Roller Coaster Tycoon installation frustration due to a faulty CD-ROM drive. Oh, man. But, you know what the worst part about this is? I can't actually blame Windows for this, because this is just because of a faulty CD-ROM drive, or just a very sporadic CD-ROM drive. Oh, so now it added MS-DOS stuff. Okay, well that's good. But could you imagine if I didn't have a Windows, can you imagine if I didn't have a, another CD-ROM drive that would work to do this? I mean, I saw that it said you could make a setup diskette, which is what I'm going to do eventually, is because I'm, quite frankly, tired of, but, like, talk about laziness. I mean, it's like, oh, you don't have a CD-ROM drive, well, screw you, or you don't have it, it's like, it's like it's like your computer's too old to support this, well, then you're screwed, basically. You're screwed unless you have another machine that you can, like, it's all about planned obsolescence. I always wish that, I wish that planned obsolescence wasn't such a bugaboo these days. Seriously, I do. But what do I know? Yeah, it's going to try to reopen all my windows, isn't it? Frick. And I don't want it to do that. Because then you get shot, like, in the foot. And shot like this. Yes. I'm being very random, but I don't care. I just want to get frickin' Roller Coaster Tycoon installed. Nope. Nope. Nopers. Alright, do we have our driver yet? Do we have our other drive? Yes, we do. Thank you. Yikes. I tell you, man. Thank God for having a partially working CD-ROM drive. Alright, now to prove that this Roller Coaster Tycoon disc is not totally broken, putting it into my backpack external CD-ROM drive, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to cry. You can tell I'm going to be doing a lot of jump cuts in this video, huh? Alright. Here we go. And this CD-ROM drive runs at a faster speed, so hopefully we won't have any more freaking problems like we were before. Alright, next. Yes. Yes. Yes, I want you to take over my lease. Next. Next. Okay, here we go. I swear if we get another freaking disk read error, I'm going to punch somebody. Okay, well at least the disk is spinning and we have drive activity, as you can see down there. Okay, well we got past the point where it had the error, but that's not saying much because there could be another error that comes up. Installation, menstruation, frustration. Well, what do you know, kids? A fire drill. I guess we better get out of here. That's actually kind of funny, because believe it or not, on Windows XP when you install this, it plays the critical error sound 3 times when you after the installation succeeds. But on Windows 98, it only plays the chord.wave sound once. That's pretty funny, actually. Anyways, So now allow me to show yous lovely peoples how to get the game to work. So now we only have 133 megs free on this disk. Congratulations, kids. Alright, so let's explore the disk. So I don't even know if we're going to have enough space for this, but let's see. How much space is... How big is this data folder? Because you have to copy this to the hard drive. I'm not even sure we're going to have enough space. 112 meg... Well, that's pretty much going to eat up all our space. So we're going to have to... Oh, man. Well, okay. Is there anything we can uninstall? That's... Oh, man. Just bad. We can uninstall Office, but... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, because what happens... See, kids, the problem is we can't actually do this because, well, I mean, I can if I want to literally drain the drive. But this folder is 112 megabytes, okay? Right? Look how much space we've got on the C drive. 133 megabytes. So, you know what I'm going to have to do? I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to get rid of some Windows components here. I'm literally going to have to get rid of some Windows components here. This is literally what happens when you install Windows 98 on an 810 megabyte hard drive. Oh, God. I knew this drive was trouble when I put it in, and I'm not even sounding like Taylor Swift at all. Alright. So how about this? No accessibility. No address book. No communications. I want my frickin' themes. No multi-language support. Multimedia I want. System tools I want. So that's going to free up 17 megabytes. Okay. We're going to apply this. It's probably going to want me to restart the computer. But who cares? Yeah, I actually do have to... Remember that this... I literally feel... Right now, I seriously feel like I'm back in the 90s. It's like, oh crap, if I copy these files, I'm not going to have enough disk space. So I'd better free up some space. And I have to restart my computer because this is Windows 98. Fine, alright, fine. Restart the computer, go for it, frickin' do it. Alright. Another frickin' restart! How lovely, kids! The drum animation. That's funny. Oh yeah, now it's got to update all the Start menu shortcuts. Lovely. I don't know how many of you guys heard that, but the welcome music was pretty screwed up there. It was playing at like the pitch was like way off. Anyways, all right, 150 megabytes free on the disk. Alright, well, this probably isn't the best computer to demonstrate this on, but what you do to get Roller Coaster Tycoon working is you go to the C drive, to get it to work without the CD, that is. You go to the Atari folder, you go to Roller Coaster Tycoon, and you copy the data folder, and you say yes to all. And now, you wait for it to copy the damn data. So I'm going to let this run, and when I come back, I'll show you step number 2. Alright, copy process is complete. We now can't rename my computer, apparently. I can't open my computer, apparently. There we go. So, okay. So now... Oh, that's funny. We have 157 megabytes free. I guess because it was replacing all those files. Oh, because it was just replacing a bunch of crap. Okay, well, whatever. Alright, time to go to the registry editor. I forgot, on this computer you have to hold function to do that. Go into regedit. Alright, so what you do is you go to regedit. Let me just make sure you guys can see this. There we go. So you go to H key, local machine, software, Fish Technology Group, if I can expand a damn thing. Alright, so this should point to this, right? C program files, Atari, Roller Coaster Tycoon. We are going to copy that path, and where it says setup path, we are going to paste that in there. And now both of these values should be the same. Now, we're going to attempt, and I said attempt, to run the game, and pray that this frickin' works. Watch this not work like everything else today. Because setup path is now pointing to the hard disk. This isn't going to work, is it? Something tells me I should restart the computer. It's trying. Oh. Saw something. Oh. Well, can't exactly say that the game is playable. Oh. Well, this probably isn't the best computer for Roller Coaster Tycoon, now is it, kids? At least I can move. You can move the mouse. That's one thing you can do. Oh God. Well, if you have a blank map, it's fine. That keyboard click doesn't make it better, though. Oh God, I can't. I'm gonna open up Diamond Heights. I literally, I'm gonna see what Diamond Heights looks like because that's what plays during the intro movie. But if you're curious, the no CD crack worked. But let me open up Diamond Heights because yeah. Oh dear God. You know what this reminds me of, kids, adults, viewers? Remember when Garrett Claridge did a video called ThinkPad Throwdown and he was running Roller Coaster Tycoon on a computer like this? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But anyways, alright, well, we can clearly see that Roller Coaster Tycoon is clearly not the game of choice for this laptop. But I just wanted to show what... I can't even finish my sentence. I just wanted to show this laptop installing Roller Coaster Tycoon. God. And one more thing. One final thing, because apparently this laptop can't run Roller Coaster Tycoon, so it's not exactly worth keeping it if you can't run it. So what we're going to do is end the video by getting rid of it. Now watch me run into a disk read error when trying to get rid of Roller Coaster Tycoon. But at least I was able to show you guys how to patch the game without using it to run without the CD, using a no CD without using a no CD crack. Yes, remove the game. After all that trouble I went through, I think this made for a pretty interesting video. Maintenance is complete. Now watch it want me to restart the computer again. Alright. Nope. Okay, thank God. You don't have to restart your computer just to remove Roller Coaster Tycoon. Alright. Well, this certainly has been a fun day, hasn't it, kids? I've literally been doing this for hours. I've been at this for an hour, for almost 2 hours, like not even gonna lie. Just trying to get this freaking thing to work. But now we're back up to 300 megabytes free on the C drive. So I think this laptop is, I think the bottom line is, this laptop is more suitable for this gaming. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. They help out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys not too far in the future. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. It wasn't even in the frickin' viewfinder. I was trying to flip off the Windows 98 shutdown screen, but I even fail at that, apparently. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's another thing too. Every time I try to shut down a Windows 98 machine, I have to, it acts as if it doesn't support soft power. Anyways, for real, goodbye.